Ateneo Blue Eagles still on a high as they avenge their first-round defeat against rivals the Salle Green Archers in Season 85 over the weekend. Of course, the UAAP is taking a timeout. But how are the Blue Eagles preparing for the rest of this crucial round? Well, let's find out. And right now, joining us from the Ateneo Blue Eagles is Chris Koon. Chris, let's try to bring. There he is. I hope the connection is better when we have this conversation with Chris on the line right now. Chris, can you hear me? Andre Felix here.
Yeah, I can hear you, Sir Felix.
How are you doing, Chris? It's the first time I'm actually having you on this show. I've had a lot of your teammates on the show. Yeah, you know, I've been wanting to get you, but you know, our schedules won't match because of classes, of training. But here you are. First of all, thank you again for saying yes and for being here, Chris. Congratulations on the win over LaSalle, against LaSalle over the weekend. Of course, you weren't going to allow history to repeat itself in the second round. In the first round, LaSalle beat Ateneo 83-78 just by 5 points. But here in the second round, it was a beatdown by 14 points, 68-54. Is there sort of redemption from you guys? Especially, we know how big of a deal it was with LaSalle beating you in the first round, having, you know, breaking their own losing streak against Ateneo, because I believe it was a couple of years since LaSalle. It took time for LaSalle to beat you, but then they beat you in the first round. Was there sort of, you know, revenge on your part to beat them here in the second round, Chris?
Yeah, I think that aspect of it will always be there. But in terms of, you know, our game plan as a team, I think we try to come in and not worry about the rivalry and kind of just focus on playing good basketball. That's what Coach always preaches to us. But especially in this game, knowing that, you know, LaSalle has lost 3 games in a row. Their backs are against the wall. You know, they needed this win. So we knew it was going to be a tough one. So, yeah, we kind of were trying to go into the game to not think about the rivalry, even though it's the overlying thing. But overall, we were just trying to play good. And eventually, hopefully that would come with a win, and it did. So we were happy about that.
You know what? I think, yeah, I saw it. I saw that you guys, here, when Coach Sandy was talking to you after that big play that you made, I just wanted to ask you that because I saw it in the highlights, and I was also watching the game live, well, just on my phone. But after you hit that shot, Coach Sandy was talking to you. He had some few words. What did Coach Sandy, if I may ask, what did Coach Sandy tell you? Was he trying to calm you down and say, do not celebrate yet? What did Coach Sandy tell, if you can share it with us?
Yeah, Coach Sandy, everybody was asking me about that play because they were like, oh, what was Coach Sandy saying to you?
Yeah.
Coach Sandy's kind of been helping me the past couple of weeks with just my preparation, and he's been trying to tell me about how I need to be for that second unit, how I need to be aware, how I need to be, you know, always laser focused in order to help our second unit. So I think that in that situation, he was kind of just telling me, you know, Chris, good job, but just be aware. Yeah. Always be focused, stay locked in. Yeah. And I think I'm really blessed to have, you know, a coach like that and the whole coaching staff. Yeah. To help me with, you know, trying to keep my eye on the task at hand. And not get too high or too low.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. Like, not, you know, Coach Sandy has been there. He also played for Ateneo back in the day. So, you know, that was after that shot to end the third. Then there is Coach Sandy. Yeah. He's trying to, you know, keep you focused. He was pointing to his eyes. And as you said, just trying to relax, not too high, not too low. It was a great game for you. You're among the 4 Blue Eagles who scored 11 points. You shot 3 of 6, 50% from downtown, including 5 big boards, an assist, 2 steals. You were filling up the stat sheet, Chris. Is there any else added motivation for you? I mean, you did say rivalry aside, just to play Ateneo with basketball, but at the same time, just to stay in the moment. Was there added fuel for you? That's why you had probably one of your best games here this season?
Yeah, I think there's a few for sure added motivations to the game. I mean, first thing, I mean, every game the coaches are always scouting for us. They have full-on scouting reports for us. They work so hard. We always see them early, and then the last one's out. So I think that's the one thing we want to do it for the coaches. On top of that, I think also, like BJ, our senior, our captain, he talked about, this could be his last Ateneo LaSalle game. So, after the game, I was like, BJ, this was the one for you. So we definitely wanted to do that for BJ and the rest of our seniors that'll be leaving. And yeah, this could have been their last Ateneo LaSalle game. So, we wanted to come out and give them a win.
Chris, well, let's continue this conversation. Grab a glass of water or something. I'm enjoying this conversation. We have to take a quick break, Chris, but we'll have more of our conversation with Ateneo Blue Eagles, Chris Koon, after the break. One of our guests today is Chris Koon of the Ateneo Blue Eagles. Chris and I have been talking about their latest victory against their arch rivals, the Salle Green Archers, as Ateneo beat LaSalle in the second round, 68-54, after losing in the first round to LaSalle, 83-78. Chris, Ateneo is known for cranking it up in the third quarter these days in season 85. What is it about that third period that makes you guys want to take things up a notch in that period of the game? Earlier I was asking you about what Coach Sandy was telling you, and a lot of people were also asking you the same question. How about this? What does Coach Tab tell you that just, levels up your play, especially coming out of the dugout? Does Coach Tab bring out a whip? I'm just kidding, but does Coach Tab scream inside the dugout? What is it about after halftime that you guys just, come out beast mode in the third quarter, Chris?
Yeah, I think specifically this game, it's funny you mentioned that, because he brought up that point that, we're supposed to be known as a third quarter team, but every game's different. We're not a third quarter team unless we do it in the third quarter. So he was kind of telling us, it's not just going to happen. We're going to have a good third quarter by focusing on what our game plan is and just executing. So yeah, he was kind of trying to tell us, they're not just going to give it to us. Like, we're not automatically a third quarter team. Every game we have to focus each quarter. And he was saying, I wish we were a first, second, and fourth quarter team too. So that's just Coach Tab, Coach Tab's mentality. So that's kind of how we went into the second half with that mentality.
Chris, I remember Coach Tab from your game earlier this year in season 84. I believe that was a game against Adamson, 78-47, when Coach Tab was asked about you. And Coach Tab was quoted, and I will read some of his quotes here. I'm trying to remember that, because I remember that was earlier this year. I'm sure you remember what I'm talking about when you played well, and then he wasn't surprised. He said that Chris can do a lot of things. He can shoot the ball, he can rebound the ball, he can defend, he handles the ball well. For a bigger player, he really is a guard in a 6'5" body, and because of that, in the leagues here, with his ability to play around the basket and attack the rim as well, he's very, very versatile. And we got a lot of that out of him, especially in that game, which obviously meant a good game for Chris and a lot of productivity while he was on the court. When Coach Tab, because Coach Tab obviously speaks highly of you, what can you say about it, especially having a brilliant basketball mind in Tab Baldwin, saying he respects your game, he respects what kind of a player you are, and believes that there's still more. You're just at the tip of the iceberg, Chris.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's you really take a step back and think about, wow, I'm getting coached by Coach Tab, like one of the greatest coaches. Yeah, and I think a lot of people talk about Coach Tab and they'll say, how hard is Coach Tab on you? Like, how hard is he? Mm-hmm. But I think one of the most underrated things with Coach Tab is how much confidence he instills in his team. And I think individually as well as a team, he gives you a lot of confidence as a player that I think people don't really realize. And it helps the team's success. And I think that his confidence in me is such a big part of when I do well. And when I'm down, he also makes sure I know it too to get better, as well as the rest of the coaching staff. I think that that's just the Ateneo way, and I think Coach Tab has just brought his great basketball mind in, and just he's always keeping us in check, but also he still lets us know that he believes in us.
Yeah,
that's what he always tells us. He always believes in us,
and that's a huge thing, especially coming from from a coach, like bringing that confidence. The confidence level of his players, regardless of who you are. You may be in the first unit, second unit, even the third stringers, even if you're a rising star or you're, just a freshman, a rookie. He just really does that. It is that Tab Baldwin effect. Chris, let's talk about the schedule, because the UAAP will be taking a timeout for almost 2 weeks to give way, of course, for Gilas in the fifth window of the FIBA World Cup qualifiers. And your teammate, and the reigning MVP, Ange Kwame, is among the top collegiate players who are part of the pool that might suit up for Gilas this Friday against Jordan and even against Saudi Arabia. Ateneo is currently number 3 in the team standings with 6 wins, 3 losses. Chris, how will this affect your preparations in your mission to strengthen your Final Four bid? Because when we talk about breaks, it can either hit you one way or the other. Like it can be the long rest could be, it can ice you guys, stop the momentum, but at the same time it can also give you enough time, especially those guys who are nursing injuries, to recuperate and recover. So what will it be for, like, especially for you guys, Chris, this 2-week break, because it will be crucial, especially as we head on to the latter stages of the season?
Yeah. I think it's beneficial for us. I think that especially with Coach Tab, he always talks about preparing, and the more time he has to prepare, the better it'll be. So I think that this would be doing a lot of practicing, not too many breaks. So I think that this time will help us just recoup, scout other teams, work on things we need to work on that maybe we didn't technically do well in the first round. So I think that the break is a good thing for us.
Well, you guys will be back in action on November 17 against UST, and we know it has been a rough stretch for the Growling Tigers this season. Given this extended break, Chris, how will you guys make sure that the team remains sharp when you get back on the court, especially when you face a very hungry USC Growling Tigers team that might want to, pull off an upset and a stunner against Ateneo?
Yeah, similar to LaSalle, backs against the wall. So I think that, we're gonna definitely need to be extra prepared for each game. Every UAAP game is so crucial, so important. So I think that just our preparation is going to be the biggest priority for us in our scout.
Chris, it was great talking to you. Let's not make this just a yearly thing. Let's keep this consistent. Hope we can have you back on this show when you don't have classes or training. It was great talking to you, Chris.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Have a great 2-week break and go get them. And good luck the rest of the way in season 85. Thanks. Appreciate you, Chris. That was Chris Koon of the Ateneo Blue Eagles.